The wedding invitation came 3 days after, the date written on it. I remember holding the cream-colored envelope, the edges soft from travel. My name written in my daughter's neat, familiar handwriting. For a moment, I thought it was just a postal delay. But then, I looked closer at the date, and that's when the truth quietly settled in my chest. I wasn't meant to be there. Before continue, please subscribe our channel and like our video. My name is Margaret Allen. I'm 58 years old, a retired schoolteacher and a mother of one, my daughter, Rachel, after her father. Mine passed away when she was 13. It was just the two of us. I worked long hours at the local elementary school, sometimes skipping meals so she could have her favorite fruits or a new dress for the school concert. She was my whole world, reason I woke up every morning. We lived in a small, cozy house, the kind that smelled of books, tea, and Sunday prayers. Every corner of it carried a piece of her childhood. The pencil marks on the kitchen wall showing how much she'd grown, the school trophies lined up proudly on the shelf, and her laughter echoing through the halls long after bedtime. When Rachel got a scholarship to study business in Chicago, I cried the night she left. She hugged me tight and said, "Mom, I'll make you proud. One day I'll give you everything you ever wanted," and she did. In many ways. She found a good job, made new friends, and slowly built a life that seemed miles away from my quiet one. Her calls became shorter, then less frequent. At first, I thought it was just how city life worked. But soon, I realized the distance wasn't just miles, it was something deeper. When she introduced me to her boyfriend, Aaron E., over a video call, I could see how happy she was. He was polite, confident, from a well-off family. I was happy for her, truly, but something in his tone when he said, "Mrs. Allen, Rachel tells me you live quite modestly," made me feel small, like I didn't belong in their world. Still, I smiled and wished them both well, because all I wanted was her happiness. A few months later, Rachel called. "Mom, I'm getting married." Her voice was cheerful, but brief. "The wedding will be small, just close friends and family," she said. I nodded, smiling even though she couldn't see me. "Of course, sweetheart. Just tell me the date and I'll be there." But weeks passed. No details came. Every time I asked, she said she was still finalizing things. Then one morning, the mailman handed me an envelope. Inside, a beautifully printed wedding invitation, gold letters. Elegant font, the date, 3 days ago. I sat there holding it. The room felt painfully quiet. My heart didn't shatter. It just went still. That's when I realized they hadn't forgotten me. They'd chosen to leave me out. For days, I didn't go out. I kept replaying every memory in my head, trying to find where I went wrong. Maybe I embarrassed her once in front of her friends. Maybe she thought I didn't fit into their picture-perfect life. The neighbors came by, asking why I hadn't gone. The wedding photos were already online. Rachel looked radiant in her white gown, standing beside Aaron surrounded by his smiling family. And me? I wasn't there. "Maybe she'll visit you soon," one neighbor said softly. I just smiled. That night, I pulled out Rachel's old photo album. There she was at 5, face covered in birthday cake, giggling as I tried to clean her up. At 10, hugging me after her first dance recital. I ran my fingers over those pictures like they were still alive. A few days later, I got a call from Aaron's mother. Her voice was polite, but distant. "We did send you an invite, didn't we? Maybe it got delayed in the mail." "These things happen," her words were smooth, practiced, but I could hear the truth behind them. I wasn't part of their circle. Still, I didn't argue. There's no dignity in begging for a place at your own child's joy. Instead, I went to the market, bought a small silver bowl, and wrapped it carefully. It was a wedding gift. And I decided I would still go, even if the wedding was over. When I reached Chicago, the venue still had decorations up. One of the helpers told me, "Ma'am, the reception's tomorrow night." Maybe you can come then, reception, so it wasn't too late after all. That night, I stayed in a cheap roadside motel. I ironed my old green dress, Rachel's favorite color, on me, and I rehearsed what I would say when I saw her. Nothing dramatic, just blessings. But while buying flowers the next morning, I overheard two women talking. Did you see the groom's mom's post? Such an elegant event. The bride's mother didn't even attend. Imagine that. The other woman sighed. I heard they didn't invite her. She's just a small-town widow. They wanted to keep it classy. My hands froze around the bouquet. So it wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. That afternoon, I sat in a cafe, my tea going cold. Should I leave quietly? Pretend I never came? But then a small voice inside me whispered, "Go, not for them. For yourself." So I did. The reception hall glittered with lights and soft music. I stood near the entrance, holding the gift, invisible among the laughter and champagne glasses. Then I saw her. Rachel. My daughter. Her eyes met mine, and for a moment, I saw something flicker there. Guilt, maybe. She walked over slowly. "Mom, you came." I smiled gently. "Of course. I got the invite a bit late." Her face went pale. I wanted to call you, but I placed my hand over hers. "It's all right, honey. You look beautiful." People nearby fell silent. I didn't stay long. I handed her the small silver bowl, wished her all the happiness in the world, and quietly left before the first toast. A week later, a package arrived. Inside, a letter from Rachel. She wrote, "Mom, I'm sorry. Aaron's family thought it would be better if the wedding was smaller." I agreed. I thought it would avoid awkwardness. But when I saw you at the reception, I realized what I'd done. You stood there with so much grace. No anger. No scene. "I don't deserve you. I'll visit soon, if you'll have me." I read it over and over. Then I folded it gently and placed it beside her old photos. Forgiveness didn't come easy. But love, a mother's love, always finds a way to heal quietly. Months later, she finally came home, carrying flowers, the same kind I'd bought for her wedding. We didn't talk much that day. We just sat together, sipping tea, the afternoon sunlight spilling across the room, and I realized sometimes love isn't about being invited to every celebration. Sometimes it's about showing up with dignity, even when your heart is breaking. And maybe that's what being a mother truly means, to love, even when it hurts. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe points for more real stories of love, family, and quiet strength.